Hello, welcome to day 2 of Simple Shoulder Pain Solutions video series. So yesterday on day 1, we talked about the use of ice to take down some of that inflammation in the shoulder. That should have helped you maybe sleep a little bit better and move around a bit during the day. Now that ice is helpful, but it's not the only thing that can help. It might just be temporary. Things that really do help is the way you position yourselves throughout the day, and especially how you position yourself at night. Many people with shoulder pain really ultimately end up coming to us because they can't sleep. And it can be very frustrating. And if you're losing sleep, you're not feeling good during the day, and then you don't sleep again the next night. So I'm going to give you a couple solutions today to show you how to sleep better with shoulder pain. So the number one thing is your preference of sleep. If you're a side sleeper, that can be very frustrating, especially if that's the shoulder that's painful. We often will recommend that people don't sleep on their side and bear the weight down into their shoulder. So as you can see, my shoulders, all my weight is driving right down into my shoulder. That can be a big problem. It limits the blood supply to the shoulder, which obviously you need blood supply for healing, and it also can really limit your range of motion and make you feel more stiff. If there's a shoulder bursitis that's happening in there, it can really inflame that bursa as well. Again, more reason to use that ice. So if you do need to be a side sleeper, if that's really the only way you can sleep, there's a lot of relief that you can gain by providing a void of where your shoulder is. And what I mean by that is we're gonna have a support for your head, and then we're gonna have a support for your rib cage. And so we're gonna take another pillow, and these are a little bit thin, but you can use something a little bit thicker. And we're going to create a void of where your shoulder would go. So your head's going to go here, your shoulder's going to go here, and then your torso is going to go right here. So if I lay on my side, it looks something like this. I'm going to put my arm in this void, right? So already I can feel that I'm not bearing down the same weight on my shoulder, okay? And now I have a nice little nook for my shoulder to fit in, and I can get a good night's sleep. So this is actually pretty comfortable. There's really no weight on my shoulder. It's taken up by the pillow here and the pillow here. And you can go as high or low as you feel comfortable with. So that's one tip for getting better sleep with your shoulder. That would be if you were sleeping on the side of the injured shoulder. Let's say that you sleep on the other side. So in this case, we'll use my right shoulder as the injured shoulder. You're gonna go on your side, and we're going to take another pillow, and you're going to use as many pillows as you can in some cases. Anything right alongside, that's where you'd like your shoulder to be. So getting some support in there is creating a little bit of space. That space, this space right here, is much different blood flow for your shoulder than being right here. Here you're somewhat constricting the blood flow, putting the shoulder under some tension, but out here is what we call a neutral position of the shoulder that allows for good blood flow and the least amount of tension on the shoulder. If you want to, you can also build up in front with a lot of pillows up in front here, and your arm would be sort of out in front, and that's fine too. Another tip that I've learned from some golf professionals, so if you're a golfer, you're gonna like this one. Some of the physical therapists on the Pro Golf Tour tell their athletes that if they have a match the next day, they don't want their athlete doing anything where their hand is going higher than mid-chest level. And that includes being asleep. So sometimes you might be asleep and people will put their arm up like this, or if it's their left shoulder, they might put it up here. They say anything with your hand above mid-chest level is going to be a problem. So in this case, we'll talk about my right arm being the painful one again. And what they recommend is get a big shirt and actually keep your arm inside your shirt. So when you go to sleep, there's very little chance that you'll move your arm up over your head. So now it's rested at my side. If I want, I could also put a nice pillow in there, but I'm not going to end up, raising my arm up over my head. It might be a little tough to get used to at first, but it'll certainly prevent you from falling asleep like this or like this, which is a position of stress for the shoulder, especially in long duration if you're going to be asleep for several hours. So far we've got the sleep with the pillow void here, as well as the arm support when you're on your side, and then keep your arm inside your shirt. We also have what's called the 3/4 supine position, which means that if you can't quite sleep, now we're gonna go back to the left shoulder being the painful one. If we're gonna go to sleep on the left side and we can't, the first method didn't work, we're gonna go on your side, but with the pillow behind us, we can kind of lean back a little bit. And that leaning back, again, takes the weight off the shoulder. You might also want to put a pillow between your knees to kind of support there, or maybe a pillow behind your lower back too. But this is a way that you're not fully on your side. You're just on your side enough to be off of your back, per se. Some people just can't sleep on their back. So this is another way to kind of get you positioned for sleep. So out of those 4 methods, I'm sure that there's at least some option for you to find a more comfortable position for sleep. I think that's the most frustrating thing for some people, is they often feel in the middle of the night it's painful and there's nothing they can do. They want to reach for the medication bottle, or they just assume that they're not going to get a good night's sleep and they lay there for hours, which is terribly frustrating. Again, creates a bad day for you the next day, and so goes that cycle. So let's break that cycle. Let's use some of these options to help you get a more comfortable night's sleep and start the healing process. So we've got ice on day 1. Today was about helping your shoulder feel a little bit better through the night. And stick around for tomorrow. We're going to work on some strength exercises followed by range of motion, and then finally working on some posture. Again, these are all great simple tips. Don't underestimate them. Don't try and jump too far ahead. Take some time with these, put them into practice, and I think you're really going to see some benefit if you follow these all the way through.